Okay, before watching this, it's important to watch the quadrinomial or four-term polynomial development of the magic factor box. But what's cool is that you can extend the magic factor box to work for trinomials. In fact, this is where the real convenience of the box comes in for the harder to be able to factor the harder trinomials. And if we take something like the trinomial, uh, 12x squared minus 13x plus 1, the technique here really, right, is to take the trinomial and create a quadrinomial out of it. So we take the first term and we take the last term. And what we're going to do is we're going to split up this middle term. It's called splitting the middle. Makes sense, right? So now the key is to do this splitting right. There's lots of different ways to split up the middle. Now what should be clear is that whatever numbers I pick to fill the question marks in with, they should add up to negative 13. The reason that is because if they don't add up to 13, if these two don't add up to 13, then I've actually changed the trinomial. I haven't just made a different looking version of it, but I'm not dealing with something that's equivalent. Okay, so question mark plus question mark has to be equal to negative 13. Now the other thing that has to happen with these numbers isn't quite as clear, but it becomes clear when you think about putting this trinomial in the box. Okay. Now when you put it in the box, you've got the question marks filled in. The thing that has to happen for it to be factorable is, remember, the diagonal test. You must pass the diagonal test. And if you look at this main diagonal, 12x squared times 1, you get 12x squared. Likewise, over here, on the other diagonal, you still get your x squared, but what we've got here is going to be whatever a question mark is times question mark. Okay? And we know to pass the diagonal test that question mark times question mark must be equal to 12. Oops. Okay? So taking these two criterion, we're going to be able to find our numbers that split the middle perfectly. Okay, let's look at that. So question mark times question mark has got to be equal to 12. Now, question mark plus question mark has got to be equal to negative 13. Now, notice that we always start with this first list, the multiplication list. The reason is that it's a shorter list than the addition list. The addition list has an infinite number of pairs on its list, and so it'll be too long to find everything that we need. Now, if you think about it, you can make this list very easy. You always start with 1 and the number itself, 1 and 12. And then you go to, you try 2, and sure enough, 2 and 6 works, 3 and 4, right? You see your numbers here are getting closer and closer together until there's nothing between them anymore. And that's when you know you're done. Well, almost done, right? Because you can also do let's see, hold on. You can also do the negative versions of these numbers. Negative 1 times negative 12, negative 2 times negative 6, negative 3 times negative 4. Okay, so there's 6 possibilities to fill in the question marks for to make this factorable. Now let's see which of these options is also going to be on this list. And if I look at them, 1 plus 12, that's equal to 13. That almost works, but we're looking for negative 13. 2 plus 6, that's 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. Negative 1 plus negative 12, that is negative 13. So that's going to be my number pair. Okay. Now what that tells me is I can go back up. To my original polynomial. Let's get rid of some of this stuff I don't need. And I can start filling in my question marks with some real answers. Okay, so let's see. What do we find out? Our numbers are negative 1 and negative 12. And by the way, it doesn't matter which order you plug them in. All right. Okay. And once you have that, once you split the middle correctly and put it into the box, you'll be able to find your factors really quick by just working the box. Okay, so let's do the first row. What comes out of that? That'll just be x. So this must be 12x, and this is negative 1. And what's down here? What times 12x gives me negative 12x? Negative 1. And then we just check to make sure the last box works. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. And there are my 2 factors. My answer should be this trinomial is going to factor into x minus 1 times 12x minus 1. I hope that helps.